Well, more than $3 million. That's how much money the FBI paid Twitter to suppress negative tweets about the Biden family. Those revelations and more were uncovered in corporate emails dubbed the Twitter files.
Well, Republicans on Capitol Hill are outraged by the evidence and planning to make the scandal a top priority for the GOP majority in January. Dale Hurd has the story.
Twitter corporate emails released this week by new owner Elon Musk show the FBI paid Twitter almost $3.5 million over the course of 2 years for suppressing tweets damaging to Joe Biden and the Democrats. Documents reveal how the FBI treated Twitter like a department of the Bureau, telling the social media giant which tweets and accounts to take action against. In one of the many emails, FBI agent Elvis Chan forwarded to Twitter staff this list of accounts to block. More than a dozen former FBI employees still work at Twitter, although Musk fired former FBI General Counsel James Baker, who became Twitter's counsel, for his possible role in information suppression. In the days and weeks before the 2020 presidential election, it appears Twitter employees followed orders from the FBI and the Biden campaign, specifically blocking stories and tweets about Hunter Biden's laptop, which was found to contain emails showing influence peddling by then Vice President Joe Biden and possible crimes by his son. Mark Meckler was the CEO at the social media platform Parler and is president of Convention of States Action.
When the media itself becomes an instrument of government, which it seems like it has been, we're seeing that now with the release of the Twitter files, that's very dangerous because the media is now controlling the narrative that the government wants it to control.
Republicans on Capitol Hill are understandably furious. House Republicans are already gearing up for a sweeping investigation of Twitter's relationship with the FBI. Incoming House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer.
Anyone that cares about free speech should be outraged. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat, this has to stop. This is going to be a top priority for the Republican majority in January.
Incoming House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner.
Who is it that's coordinating this? How can we cut off the money, prohibit this in the future? And we will use our subpoena power to track that down and make certain that this doesn't happen again.
And on the Republican House Judiciary Committee site, the simple tweet, "Does anyone still trust the FBI?" Meckler believes that by essentially serving as an arm of the government, Twitter has opened itself up to a First Amendment lawsuit, as has the FBI.
It appears that the government put so much pressure on Twitter and was working so closely in concert with Twitter that Twitter can be treated itself as a government actor, what we would call under the state actor theory, and is liable for First Amendment violations potentially.
But House Republican threats to use the power of the purse against the FBI by denying it funding could be short-circuited by the omnibus spending bill, which would fund the FBI for a full year. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Well, in my opinion, this is an absolutely shocking story. And whether you're a Democrat or Republican, all Americans should be concerned, not just to the level of, well, I'm bothered by it, but demanding change. That the FBI has gotten involved in politics, that they're trying to be just like in the Roman Empire, the Praetorian Guard. They get to choose who's going to be the incoming emperor. That's exactly what they did here. They said, we're going to suppress negative information about a presidential candidate in the middle of a presidential campaign, and not just suppress it by saying it would be nice if you didn't publish this story, but we're actually going to pay you and pay you $3 million, and we're going to make sure FBI employees are now employees in your company. The very head of their legal division at Twitter, former FBI. This is absolutely outrageous, and all Americans should be concerned about this. What does this mean for the future of democracy if your Federal Bureau of Investigation is actively involved in campaign matters? This is something Congress should absolutely take up. It's something that obviously the Department of Justice should take up. This is illegal. You can't have federal employees engage in active campaigning. That's what this is. And it throws a light on everything that they've been doing recently, whether it's the supposed Russian collusion and not identifying the Steele dossier properly, taking an administration through 2 years of investigation, an independent counsel, all based on lies. This is all part of our campaigning. But we have to do something here. Let's go back in time, 2012. There you have an active campaign, President Obama running for re-election. What's going on at the IRS? There's this group called the Tea Party. They're trying to form organizations to engage in politics. They need to apply to the IRS for their tax status. This isn't so their donors get a deduction, it's so they're not taxed at income rates as a political organization. What does the IRS do? Well, they slow roll them. They don't let them get their tax exempt status. Therefore, they're not operational in the campaign. Lois Lerner was part of that. She headed it up. She admitted to it in an investigation by Congress. She took the Fifth Amendment. Was there any action against her? No. And today she is drawing a pension from the U.S. government as a former government employee, even though clearly she admitted to political activity in her office at the IRS, where she reduced political speech. She prevented people from organizing. We have to stop this. This isn't something that the framers of the Constitution ever intended, that the very functions of government, the very bureaucracy that depends on federal funding is now actively involved in the election so that they can make sure their funding continues. That's what's going on here, and it is absolutely anti-democratic.